that the arms are totally extended out. If they're more advanced, their feet are going to be straight out in front of them, and they're just going to be pulling here, holding 2 seconds, lower down slow. If they need a little bit more extra help, they can bring their heels in closer to their butt. The closer they are, the easier it's going to be. They can use some assistance from their legs. Hold 2 seconds, lower down. So make sure that when you're having them do their hollow and their Superman on the ground, that they're not just hanging out here, laying down with their feet here. We want to make sure that the break is happening here, so we want them to pull their belly button towards the ground, lift their feet up, slowly bring their feet down until their lower back is staying on the ground, arms come overhead. This is your position here. If their back pops off the ground, they need to bring their feet a little higher. They can even pull their arms this way, but the goal is to get that rib cage to kind of close down and create that C shape with their back. When they flip around for the Superman, squeeze your butt, squeeze your quads, everything comes off the ground. Everything stays tight. It's really important to understand those positions because they're going to transfer up here to the bars. You can hold this way or this way. I don't really care, okay? So we're going to jump up on the bar. Instead of just hanging straight like this, we're going to tuck. So I'm going to initiate this movement with pointing my toes and putting my heels together. Then I'm going to squeeze my butt and my quads. I'm going to try and pull my rib cage down. So what I'm not doing, y'all, is this number. I'm not bending at the hip. I'm squeezing everything tight. I'm trying to make a straight line all the way from where my ribs attach down to my toes. I'm pulling my rib cage down, but I'm initiating it with squeezing my butt, okay? So go ahead and try that. Squeeze your butt, pull your toes, tight quads, try not to bend at the hip. Good, pull the rib cage down. Yeah, good. Good, okay. Go out there and grab the bar. Make sure you're not jumping up and grabbing like this. That will not last very long. Try and get these knuckles on top of the bar. Get your thumbs around the bar. I think it's helpful if you take your thumb and cover your middle finger when you're up there on the bar. And like, I try and make it a goal, like how many pull-ups can I get before my thumb slips off my finger. It'll help your grip. Okay, so from here, guys, we're gonna do what we did on the floor with the hollow and the Superman. We're gonna transfer it to here. So what we don't wanna see is just a bunch of wagging at the hip, all right? So we're gonna get up here, and it can be small, it can be a small movement. And we're just gonna start here. You guys see how it's a pretty straight line from my rib cage to my toes?
Oh, do a kipping move.
At any point, I can stop. I have complete control of that movement. So if you're swinging out of control, then you don't have enough core engagement. So go ahead and try. It doesn't have to be big. Keep everything tight. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your quads, point your toes. Beautiful. And then stop at any point to a complete stop. Yeah. Our athletes are so fabulous. Good. Yeah. Good. Forward, back, forward. Good. You'll get it. So here, 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 here. If you struggle with the movement, you can put a little pause in, okay? So if you're not having a good rhythm, you can pause, 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 until you can kind of get that little tick-tock. So the next thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to work on the banded kip and just getting a good tick-tock rhythm. I know some of you guys have done this before, but whenever we're kipping in the band, until you get better at this, our Superman position, which is typically here, in a band, it looks more like here, okay? So you're gonna go hollow, straight, hollow, straight. And we're gonna try and find that nice little tick-tock rhythm. And just thinking about keeping your butt tight, keeping that hollow position, hollow, straight, hollow, straight. Now if you struggle with this and you're swinging out of control, you can pause, pause, pause. If you notice, my feet are staying in front of the uprises. I'm not letting them come back here, okay? Continuing to force myself to think about my hollow position. Let's go ahead and try a few of those. This is something you can do, Tess, even with one hand. Okay. So we're not pulling up all the way.
There's that.
Beautiful. Yeah, Steve. Now, Steve is doing a good job of, like, he's got a little more of an aggressive kick going on because his eyeballs are almost up to the bar, so that's going to be the next step, is getting a little bit more aggressive with the kick to where you're closing that shoulder a little bit more until your eyeballs are kind of even with the bar. Good. And happy too. Really good. But the biggest goal is to maintain the rhythm. If you start swinging out of control on this banded kick, it's usually because you're pulling your feet too far back this way. And so what's happening is your torso angle is changing and then it's going to start making you swing. So when you're in the band, the torso position is going to be a little bit more laid back, okay? So you're going to go push down, come straight, push down. So think about staying kind of laid back in that band, keeping those toes forward. Good. Good test. Yes. Do test for a second. So this would be one of our more beginner athletes. Keep your heels together, point your toes. So she still has a good rhythm. Even though she's not quite as aggressive and she has a little bit more band, she's still able to maintain that rhythm. So no matter the level, what did you say?
You said I wasn't very aggressive.
Well,
That's not regular.
she's doing great.
You walked right into it.
Good. So she's still able to work on the shape of her body and just being rhythmic. Okay, Steve. Steve, something's going on out there. Steve's gonna show. I want you to have just a bigger kip, and I want you to try and kip to where you're getting as high as the bar with your eyeballs. So now Steve's gonna show a more aggressive kip. He's still keeping his arms straight, keeping those toes forward. Good. When you get to the point where you can kip that aggressive, where your body's coming up that high, now you're ready for the pull push. Okay, so you're gonna pull to the bar and quickly push away, pushing back into the hollow position so that when you start to fall, you're flipping back here, okay? So Steve, can you demonstrate that?
This is ridiculous.
So he's gonna kip a few times. He's gonna pull push, yeah, pull push, pull push, good, good, awesome. So that second rep, he almost got himself a little bit out of control. So if that happens and you feel like you're starting to swing, you can put a little pause there, okay? Whenever you're swinging out of control, sometimes the pauses can correct that. So we're gonna try it again. And when you hit the bar, when you do your pull-up and you push back a little slower, like almost as if you're gonna like sort of pause here before you fall. Does that make sense? We're making him work hard. Good. Yeah. Good. Better. So by pushing away and putting a slight pause, he's able to keep his toes in front of him longer. And so as he's falling down from that pull-up and he's getting to the bottom, that's when he's going to flip back, okay? So what was happening before was he was coming so fast after he pushed away, and then he was falling and he was flipping too soon. And so it was sending his torso into this position, and it was going to send him rocking out of control. So if you have where you can do like a couple of kipping pull-ups and all of a sudden you start flying out of control, then you just need to realize that you need to keep your toes forward longer as you're coming down off your pull-up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's normal. So here's the thing, guys. Like, you'll see that sometimes people, like, they start off good, they can kind of keep their rhythm, and then over time, the reason why they fall apart is she loses her hollow position. So instead of going and getting her pull-up and pushing back into the hollow and maintaining that rigid core, what's happening is they pull up and they just kind of, they turn into this noodle and they fall out and they end up swinging out of control. So it's so important that you guys understand the shapes of the body when you're even practicing your pull-ups, because maintaining that core is going to be ideal for doing like larger sets of pull-ups. Okay? Cool? Thanks for being our guinea pigs. All right, let's go work out.
Oh,